Thanks for joining us. And first in the bulletin, now pressure group Occupy Ghana has condemned the complete disregard of public safety during the burial of the former chief executive of the Forestry Commission of Ghana, Kojo Owusu-Afriyie, popularly known as John. In a statement issued on Sunday, the group observed that numerous politicians, including members of the governing New Patriotic Party (NPP), were at the funeral and flouted the Imposition of Restrictions Act 2020, Act 1012, which prohibits mass gatherings amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. Thus, Occupy Ghana questioned government's moral right in implementing the law when it is going contrary to that very rule.
Akufo-Addo and the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, together with Ministers of State and scores of mourners on Thursday, June 3, 2021, attended the funeral rites of the late Sir John at his hometown in the Ashanti region. Contrary to the limited number of not more than 100 people who are supposed to be at a funeral under the Imposition of Restrictions Act by the President due to the coronavirus, the arrival of the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, at the funeral grounds saw a blatant disregard to the social distancing protocols, as scores of mourners who were more than the required number to be at a funeral were seen cheering up the Vice President and other political figures in crowded scenes. Ghana's COVID-19 cumulative cases as of June 1, 2021 stood at 94,011, out of which 92,057 have recovered and 18 in critical, while 6 are in critical condition, and 785 deaths, with an active case of 1,169 in the country.
You're still watching News Bit Live here on Metro TV. And now the Education Minister, Dr. Yao Osei Edichum, has disclosed that the government, in its quest to build a robust education system, will introduce a national standardized test for pupils at the basic level in the country. Speaking on the topic, President Akufo-Addo's education agenda 4 years and beyond, the minister stated that all primary 4 students in Ghana will be the first batch to experience the new development. Dr. Yao Osei Edichum believes the initiative will improve learning outcomes in the country.
The National Standards Test is responsive to Ghana's Education Strategic Plan 2018 to 2030, which prioritizes improving learning outcomes at all levels by creating a national standard-based assessment at pre-tertiary level to measure the quality of learning achievement before the end of JHS. Speaking on the topic, President Akufo-Addo's education agenda 4 years and beyond, the Minister of Education, Dr. Yao Osei Edichum, said the National Standards Test will start rolling out in November this year.
All 4th graders this year are going to be tested across the length and breadth of this country. Every one of them. So that we'll see the challenges that is confronting us as a nation, and they will give him 1 year. We'll give them 1 year during the 5th grade of primary 5 to do intervention. We'll test them again in primary 6. The following year, we're even going to begin from primary 2, primary 4, primary 6, and beyond. This year, every student will be tested at 4th grade level. National standardized test, which has been done in Singapore and other places, is going to be a reality under the watch leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. So parents, our goal is simple. We want to know whether your child can read or not. And the report will be generated and given to every single parent in this country in mathematics and literacy, for them to really know whether their students are doing well or not, and then we have an opportunity to track them longitudinally. We want to take advantage of technology to digitize education in Ghana.
On STEM education, the minister mentioned that 10 new schools are at various phases of completion to ensure a smooth takeoff of the initiative.
STEM high schools, there are about 10 of them that are going to be open in this country. Various stages of construction at this point. Some of them have come to close to finishing, like Abomosu, V-block schools, big campus, boarding school, almost completed. It is going to be operationalized so well. I've been assured by the Ghana Education Service that headmasters will be there some 3 months before the school opens. Libraries will be stocked with books before they open. The schools open. There won't be any school where we don't have science labs. That will be a thing of the past. In each one of these schools that you see, the Abomosu and other schools that are under construction, you are going to see that they have 12 science labs.
Dr. Yawase Duchum noted government is building a robust education system worthy to compete in the 21st century.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Education, Dr. Yawase Duchum, also disclosed that the country has so far spent over 7 billion Ghana cedi for the rollout of the free senior high school the past 4 years.
The National Standards Test
in terms of the free senior high school budget allocation, in 2017 we spent 480 million. In 2018 we spent 1,137,861,816, all in cedis. 2019, 1,682,641,924. And the following year, there will be an adjustment there because of COVID. But the actual budget was 2,429,257,748. That will be revised because of the COVID and the academic year changes. And this year is 1,974,021,968, all in cedis. In all, we spent to date 7,703,783,456 cedis.
Let's now speak to Member of Parliament for Busa South and a Member of Parliament Education Committee, Dr. Clement Apag, for his take on this. Now, welcome, Doc. Now, members of the NDC, including yourself, say government has failed to admit that the free SHS has major challenges. Now, what are the challenges you feel need urgent attention?
Well, let me say good afternoon to you and good afternoon to listeners and viewers. Let me begin with the figures the minister put out. Yes, those are accurate figures as voted by Parliament from 2017 to 2021. However, the figures he has given ought to be probed further. These figures that he has given are already known. What we need is a breakdown of the cost items. So, for example, each year that we have voted money to finance the program, we need to know how much has gone to feeding, how much has gone to examination fees, how much has gone to textbooks, how much has gone to infrastructure, and thereon and therefore. So simply saying that government has expended slightly over 7 billion on the program over the period, it doesn't make any difference. But you see, let me also draw the attention of Ghanaians to the mid-year review budget presented by the finance minister in July last year. He indicated that as of July 2020, the total amount government had expended in implementing the program was 3.2 billion. So we also need to ask questions. What has accounted for the difference in just 1 year between the figures given by the minister today and what the Minister of Finance gave in July of last year? In terms of the challenges are well known. One major challenge is inadequate space. And this has to do with the challenges of lack of dining halls, lack of enough dormitories, lack of enough classrooms, and in fact, lack of furniture. The other major challenge has to do with inadequate food and sometimes unwholesome and expired food items. I mean, you would have heard severally how various headmasters have been on record, although not revealing their names, of having to go and take food items on credit to feed the students. The delays in the remittance of the 30% of the feeding fee, which is supposed to go to the headmasters to procure perishables. As I speak to you now, the issue of food supply and other supplies have become a conduit for corruption. The processes have been centralized with the buffer stock. And the way it works is that the institutions are given food items. They don't have any say in terms of the quantities and what preferred food items they need. All they do is that buffer stock contractors would go to the schools and then present to them whatever quantities, and the headmasters and the mayors have no say. The other challenge has to do with overburdened teaching and non-teaching staff. Because of the way the system is being run, the teachers have not had any break. So have the non-teaching staff. The only time they got a break was during the COVID pandemic. And this is beginning to take a toll on their psychological well-being. And of course, we can't forget of the erratic and unpredictable, haphazard academic calendar, where students go to school and they are told they have to spend maybe 3 months. They end up spending just about 2 months, sometimes even 1 month, and they have to come home. Instances where students have been asked to report to school, only to get to school and be told to go home and come after a month. So when you combine all of these issues, clearly, we can't, in all honesty, say that the program is going the way we would all want it to go.
All right, so Doug, you have also accused the minister of enrolling his children in private schools, an allegation he has vehemently denied. Do you still stand by it?
Yes, I do. And in fact, I have not accused the minister. It was a media house that did its investigation and published the report. And I was called to comment. And if you've read my comments were conditional. I didn't even know whether the minister's word was male or female. So what I said was that if confirmed, then that would mean that the minister doesn't have faith. He doesn't have trust in the system that he's superintending over. So my statement was predicated on a media report. And so if the minister truly wants Ghanaians to believe that his rebuttal is what we should go by, he should be confronting the media house and should be presenting further and better particulars. Simply saying that you have no son of secondary school going age does not put this matter to rest. Has he said the date of birth of his son? Do we know when he was born? Have we seen a birth certificate to be able to confirm otherwise whether the said ward has reached secondary school going age or not? So he should deal with the issue as the media house has presented it.
So now the minister also mentioned that the double-track system will end in the next 2 years. Now, does that satisfy the concerns you have always raised against that policy?
Well, everyone knows that the double-track and everything that is wrong with the implementation of the policy is a product of inadequate funding. Because if funding was adequate, government itself by now should have completed the 1,119 infrastructural projects it initiated between 2017 and 2020. As we speak, only 539 have been completed as of the time of passing the budget. Government even securitized GET Fund to take a loan of $1.5 billion, and those monies were to complete some 766 GET Fund infrastructural projects.
All right, sir.
And to add new ones. As we speak, that has not been done. Even today, if we have a choice.
Thank you, sir.
So the minister and the government should expend the resources to ensure that this obnoxious double-track system and its attendant challenges comes to an end as soon as possible.
All right, thank you, sir. So, Dr. Clement Park is a member of Parliament for Busa South and a member of Parliament's Education Committee in the House. Away from that, still focusing on education here in Ghana, as the National Democratic Congress communication team member Margaret Ansei Mago says the educational system of Ghana is appalling and deteriorating each day. She calls on the government to do better. Meanwhile, Ellen Amadakon says the government is working on giving every child a unique educational number for easy monitoring and to track school dropouts and curb streetism. This was said during Metro TV's flagship program, Good Morning Ghana.
Your predecessor said he was going to build 200 schools. Over 57 completed, the rest ongoing. Yet, you said they didn't do well. And now, in 2021, 5 years in your office, you are telling us about 10 is ready for operation. And someone used 4 years and gave you 57 complete, and the rest ongoing. Somewhere even around 80% completion. Then you tell us today that in your 5 years, 10 are about to be operational. Annie, who is doing politics with our education here? Who is doing politics with this? The point is that, Annie, we all went to secondary schools.
But you know, the reality of the matter is, when it comes to doing politics with our education, we are doing it. Yeah. That's what we're doing. And I'm not saying partisan politics. I'm talking about party manifestos. Okay. Party manifestos is what's carrying our educational system today, because we don't have any proper educational policy or national policy. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. So the country is obviously being built on 4-year manifestos, and that's what we're doing. So as for the politics, like, we can't go away from it, because that is the system we're using today.
Manny, we've all, fortunately for us and all our leaders, they've all been to schools before. Put your experiences together. During our time, I went to school when President Kufuor was in. It wasn't that you had a comfortable bed with your fridge, television in your dormitory and whatever. Some of us were those student matches. We were pairing first year. I think it's third year that you can have your own bed. It wasn't the best, but we expected that as of now, there should be improvement. But it shouldn't go from worse to, I mean, where it is today. It's not the best. It's nothing to write home about. We are coming from somewhere, and therefore we expected a major improvement. That is why a visionary leader...
That when the child gets into our educational system, whether private or public, that child will have a unique number. Yeah. Assuming the person drops out, we would know. But somebody can move. You know, parents move. People are sent for work. Transfer. So when somebody is transferred and you are entering a new school, they will ask you for that your number. And then you are put back into the system, which tells you that the child may...
It will give you a very effective monitoring.
Yes, the child moved from Kaswa and now it's in Wenchi. Let me use myself. So the child is in school. Because our people are dropping out that we are not even seeing, that the children are dropping out. And these children drop out, and most of them are the ones we see on the streets selling. And it also kept the incidence of these children coming into the big cities and just being out there, and they go out of the system. We have no idea.
So let's just stay with education, as the National Executive Council of the Senior Staff Association of Universities of Ghana has called on management members of public universities in the country to desist from trying to coerce their members to return to work who are currently on a strike action over government's failure to pay their Tier 2 pension. According to the national chairman of the association, Zakaria Mohammed, management members of some of these universities have begun threatening and intimidating their members. This, he says, is against the industrial labor law as well as industrial democracy in the country. So we have been joined on phone by the national chairman of the Senior Staff Association of the Universities of Ghana, Zakaria Mohammed, for details. Good afternoon, sir, and welcome.
Good afternoon.
So tell us about these threats being meted out to your members.
Yes, we big signals and we investigated it. And we established facts beyond doubt that some personal heads, some people in management positions, because the university system said that before a student staff is promoted, your superior, immediate superior, is expected to make some recommendation on the form that you have filled to be promoted to the next stage. Now, some people in management positions have called some of our members to come to work, and when they drew their attention to the fact that they were on strike, they asked them to choose between disobeying the National Executive Council and coming to work and forgoing their promotion. And some even taking our members of dismissal. And some have also taken of transfers. And we think that we are just serving notice to these individuals to desist from this unprincipled practice. Because what we are engaged in doing is not illegal. These are the exercises that are available to us to discharge as members of a democratic union. And that the Constitution, the Act 203, Act 651 of the Labour Law, require us, and recognize the fact that strikes are not illegal. And that's why we are not being in agitation. All that we are doing is that we are striking to fight for a better community. And we expect that management will respect that and allow us to exercise our democratic right under the Constitution of Ghana.
All right. So what is association planning to do to protect your members?
What exactly we are doing, that's why we have said that we could stabilize industrial harmony within the public universities in Ghana. Now, what we will do, we have compiled the list of people and universities who have been affected, and we are waiting. If any action is taken on it, we will know what to do. We'll go to National Executive Council and take action against such movement.
Are you aware if some of your members have given in to these threats?
Not at all, not at all. They have rather reported it to the National Executive Council, and we are solely behind them. And we have told them not to be afraid of anybody at all, that we are going to check that, even if they may go into court. Because those individuals also have two opportunities. For instance, if you think that what we are engaged in doing as seniors are illegal, you have the right to go and test the labor laws in the court. Or you can also decide to go to Parliament and raise an individual private motion to take that position that granted us that democratic right, that fundamental right and liberty to strike out. Then you cannot talk about it. I mean, what the fact that we are embarked upon, is it legal or illegal? It is legal. So why will you use your position, to influence or coerce or put fear and panic into another striking member to come to work? And so to say that if you fail to come, I could dismiss you. I can withdraw your promotion. We are saying that is not going to work. We will not sit down in this country for lawless individuals to take the law into their own hands. We will not do that. That will not happen.
All right, sir. But I want to find out quickly, has government shown any commitment to resolving all the issues you have raised?
Well, we had met some time ago and signed on to a document, and government was of the view that the document was to the effect that we are going to use 60 days to resolve the issues. And that the tier 2 person area that we talked about, which government has paid a principal, an amount of 41.35 million Ghana cedi. We have pointed out to government that the man has been with government for 6 years. And that if that money was transferred to the fund manager, it was not going to be kept under lock and key. It was for investment purposes. Now, to the extent that government was unable to transfer the money, it is only right and proper that government pay with some interest. As to what interest government was going to pay, we agreed on the tier 2, we agreed on TB ways.
All right, sir. Thank you for your time with us here on Newsbeat. And so Zakaria Mohammed is the national chairman of the National Executive Council of the Senior Staff Association. You are still watching Newsbeat live here on Metro TV. A quick Terry back with more. Stay with us.
The average human body mass should have at least 60% water for optimal performance in any physical or mental exercise. We can help you maintain it naturally. X Natural Mineral Water. Simply natural.
Hisense akane ho bio eye Hisense fridge promo. 58th May, akopim 8th June eye Hisense fridge promo. For Hisense showroom bia. Ya tete so mamu say, who fridge that be how? Anasa wo hia fridge foforo. E ma opportunity wey ensa ho da. Hisense fridge na efe, efo, eche, eye papa, and chip power. E go no so die. On the low. Hisense pay and amount 5 years manufacturer defect warranty. So Hisense fridge papa never grow niema. Kai say 18th May, akopim 8th June. Aya Hisense fridge promo. Hisense everyday prices for everyday people.
Welcome back. And now, a defunct clinic blog, which was weak and endangered the lives of pupils for several years, on the premises of the La Wireless Cluster of Schools, has been demolished by the La Dade Kotopon Municipal Assembly. The Assembly has as well donated a new polytank and provided street lights for the school. These actions follow a sustained coverage of the poor plight of the school on Metro TV's Community Watch program. Gabriel Ni Obudai Togbo Atopra Atonamashon brings us more in the following report.
The La Wireless Cluster of Schools in the La Dade Kotopon municipality in Accra was established in 1919 under British colonial rule. The school was one of the locations the Queen of England, Elizabeth II, visited during her official tour of Ghana in 1999. Over the past 100 years, though, La Wireless Cluster of Schools has not received any major infrastructural makeover. In September 2020, Metro TV's Community Watch team received an urgent call of a robbery incident in the school. The operation was to pick a polytank from the school, but was foiled.
You can see from behind you the platform. There's been a polytank, 10,000 liters capacity, that was donated by Rotary Club, Accra North, to the early child of the cluster. Okay. And it is storing water for more than 10 years today. Okay. Early this morning, I was called that they have taken the tank.
Teachers of the school mentioned about insecurity, need for an urgent intervention.
And the lack of security lights is our major problem. They have turned this place into a weed smoking place.
Priscilla Afo was only 33 years old. It was supposed to have been a short working visit to Kumasi. Sadly, when she was returning to Accra, her life was snuffed out before she could reach her destination. Now, two beautiful twin girls have lost their mother.
I remember getting a last video call.
A heartbroken man has lost his beloved wife, and parents have had to endure the disheartening task of burying their child. Priscilla's mother, Joyce Edusei Dapa, didn't see this coming.
Pupils on this compound, it is very likely that at some point, if the pupils come over to view this one with oversized crack and the bottom also weak, it may fall over the pupil and we may have yet another incident of disaster.
Priscilla was a child.
I'll give you more of that story in the subsequent bulletin. Now, as the world celebrates World Food Safety Today, Principal Directory Officer Gloria Anawa Akon of the Food and Drugs Authority has urged Ghanaians to rally together to support the authorities' campaign for food safety in line with sustainable development goals.
World Food Safety Day to highlight the production.
Always ready to offer support to anyone who needed it. She always had a smile on her face, and she promised to do something wonderful for me. It never occurred to me that I would lose her this way.
A painful situation for a mother to bear, caused by an avoidable road crash. This is just one of the thousands of families in Ghana thrown into a state of mourning due to thousands of road accidents that occur yearly. While on a working trip to Kumasi, Priscilla decided to visit her parents who live in the city. The mother was excited to see her second child and her grandson. They had a lot to discuss.
Ensuring that street foods are also safe.
She advised Ghanaians to be on the lookout for unwholesome foods.
Make sure that we encourage food safety. Let us adopt that concept. Let us be mindful of the things we do that will affect our health, especially with regards to foodborne illnesses. You can also contact the FDA if there's anything that you need to report, anything that you need to comment, anything that you need clarification.
This year's celebration is under the theme, Save Food Today for a Healthy Tomorrow, to draw attention and inspire action to help prevent, detect and manage food for sustainable development.
And it's still World Food Safety Day here on Metro TV. Now, so the World Food Safety Day is aimed at drawing attention, inspiring actions to help prevent, detect and manage foodborne risk that's contributing to food security, human health, economic prosperity and agriculture access to the market, tourism and sustainable development. Here are the calls to action for this year's celebration. You have it on your screen. Number one says, ensure it's safe. Government must ensure safe and nutritious food for all. Number two says, grow it safe. Agriculture and food producers need to adopt good practices. Three says, keep it safe. Business operators must make sure food is safe. The fourth one says, know what's safe. Consumers need to learn about safe and healthy food. The fifth one says, team up for food safety. Work together for safe food and good health. Away from that, following a downpour some days ago, residents of Odona in the Greater Accra region are appealing to government to create a wall around the Odona River to enhance the free flow of water anytime it rains. The residents are calling on city authorities to dissolve major drainage to help address the issue of flooding anytime it rains.
Station na ben Odona. Since toa ansa na ebe yiri no e push fa gate no e di ban inside ansa na baha intine ka me nko dia ye wo kakra e di mo don de kwa ka beboa because e bi wo bank na chi pe o ma ye wo asovu kakra e wo ho
Odona ya na wo but de tie man so ni ba apote nkasansa no hwe the last time obi si odo we mu na ntokwa bi si ye ana boy bi si odo mu da na o si odo no na ehu si anya na odo ne ma because akodo we no first usimu a wo akra ehu oboso kra ehu ba da no boy ni simu no ni patete osi odo mu na de da na ase anya ko a de ma enta de nso no to a emba nso no to baba oda se ana ba ko so atire a o makata so no ma ni kutu abi eza ko mu bi atire ekom kese na ko bi atimi nso no timi bola bi atimi ko no o ma ya de ni kutu abi no ma ya no nti sa wo kwasa wo ye sa de wo ha wo pesa wo kunya na so pesa wo ye
ahana ga say nsu asase river ni yira itimi yiri bebo sa getters na yeyi no foforo no ene no so emosisi duty that in itimi flood of fa na sometimes kwa na itimi ma electric shock ni ade itimi yere sometimes na AMF no go around ebi wo na say ifia hyehyehye ho no ache ni ade a omutimi eyi ni ade but me ni say no any solution no still na that's a problem.
Still news be live on Metro TV. We'll be back from this break with more.
Need a little help? Nobody does it better. At UCS Facility Management, we give you the best in janitorial services, which include high-rise window cleaning, office cleaning, post-construction cleaning, facade washing, deep cleaning, carpet cleaning, swimming pool cleaning, and event janitorial services. Locate us at Jowolu, JA Plant Pool premises, or call us on 0501 666 322 or 0203 299 212 or 0203 299 234. UCS, your property is under our care.
In Ghana and in Africa, there is only one place to look to get that luxurious design and decor for your offices and homes. Visit Jamila Home. We give you the climax of luxury wherever you find yourself. Presidential and executive office furniture, living room set, dining set, stunning mirrors, adorable wallpapers, lovely king and queen size beds, valuable antiques and antique goods, beautiful chandeliers and more. Into the bargain, we provide caring customer service, prompt delivery service, skilled and artistic full house design and decor services, and free decor ideas for your space. Our products and service is unparalleled, boasting of top-tier clients all over the globe. Jamila Home, home of first-class quality furniture, beautiful chandeliers, and antiques.
Thank you for staying with us. Business News is next, and Kenneth Jesse has it all.
Thank you very much, Bright. Now, coming up in business, Ghanaians have reacted to the increase in transport fares. That and more are coming up shortly. Stay with us. I'm Kenneth Jesse. In our first business story, some passengers have lamented about the recent 13% increase in transport fares, saying some drivers have increased their fares by more than the 13% they're supposed to charge. However, some long-distance passengers said the increase is yet to take effect, as the cars they picked today charge the same amount they usually pay. In Metro News, was there and spoke to them.
Can you know you 140 and then acquire 160? Mentiase, I don't know Mentiase. Yes, I took car, I can do him. Well, say I talk to him. I say education, Kakra. As an abetum, I saw all education be said. And as one body will say, I took car, I could to him, say. Well, I'm saying, who said, Drabba for Ubiag in your pay.
Cook Massey. Number 4, we Ben fair young to old price and age. Ati who say or money yen adini ni se bre pam no o mo be ma ye be tia se na fe jompa so mo gibia na betua san se ya tutu bibia mu.
Since this year about atopetu mu kwa 3 times 4 times 6 times ya ntupem the whole station Bodiga Sunyane Tamale the whole Ghana obuasi nyina aka obuasi jaka ya fi London na ban obi afa 44 baby akuye ayelodu asaman kede tamamoto we ya fa tretre ya fa ne ya passe patience o motom asini ya 14 ase ya tumu no say now ya fa tretre ya 16 omoba ntokonko no munya ko okanum almost a bunch of and so I buy you a TV system or moon. It's a bora and a passages no mudino.
And I say, I feel no more betum. The Omunian tomb, son or no catch them. Do kind of man can send me. If you circle, no price station, Ediaco as a mancassi. First, no 12 CDs. But say, Omoji 16 CDs. Nipa could be a Etiama Ushema 30% near the Atosono. A book. You can yes say Abano and say, or new or more ever transit. Now exactly 13% of that Atosono. You say a day.
Up next is Forex. Stay with us. And that's it for business. I'm Kenneth Jesse. Bright is standing by for the rest of the news.
Thank you, Kenneth, for that business stories right there. Away from that, now, prominent Nigerian tele-evangelist TB Joshua died over the weekend after presiding over a program at his Lagos-based mega church on Saturday. Prophet TB Joshua, the founder of the Synagogue Church of All Nations, passed away 1 week before his 58th birthday, his church said in a statement Sunday. Millions have since taken to social media to pay tribute to one of Africa's most influential preachers. So let's now cross over to Nigerian capital of Lagos and speak to media personality and digital marketer Elsie Godwin, who has some very fun moments to share with us. Good afternoon, Elsie.
Good afternoon.
So first of all, how are Nigerians accepting the reality that Prophet TB Joshua has indeed passed on?
Well, for me as a person, I think I'm still in shock. It's unbelievable, but I mean, when you followed his preaching for a long time, then you know death is inevitable anyway. So we are finding it difficult to accept. People are mourning. The less privileged who basically have their hopes on him, that are on his payroll, the widows, the orphans, they are distraughted. I mean, you definitely don't know what is going to happen from here on now, because we don't know what the structure is going forward. But we knew what was going on while he was alive and how synagogue was a refuge for a lot of people.
So share with us your fond memories of him, Elsie.
So it's happened.
Elsie, now share with us your fond memories of him.
Okay, this.
Elsie.
My fond memories of him. It's years. It spans across years. I would say my formative years growing up, he played a huge role in terms of his teaching and the ministry. So of course, growing up, you're always in the Sunday school, and the Sunday school is not the regular Sunday school that I hear of. I was part of those special kids that were part of the drama class, part of those who have to ensure that the children are part of the preaching, you know. And I had a one-on-one encounter with him. I lived with him. I saw him beyond the prophet. You know, he was more or less a father figure to me at some point. I lived with him for about 4 months. And he's a very jovial man, a humble man, someone who wants everyone around him to be very comfortable and happy. You know, someone who would give you words that you would always think about, and those words will shape you through your journey. Whether you're speaking to him every day or you get to speak to him once in a year or once in 2 years, those words would resonate with you and the decisions you would have to make. So he's just an amazing man. He's playful, he's cheerful, he's serious when he has to be, he's very spiritual where he has to be. So I know a lot of people just know the prophet TB Joshua, you know, but I was privileged and honored to know the man behind Prophet TB Joshua, the man who gave his life to be able to be used by God. So He's just an amazing man. My memories of him is just amazing.
Now, the cause of his death was not very clear. Do you have information on the actual cause of death?
Okay, before coming on this live stream, I was opportunity to speak to someone who was actually at the service on Saturday before this happened. And they are saying he wasn't being rushed to the hospital like what the news platforms are reporting, or some news platforms are reporting. He was very fine. He wasn't at the church itself. That's the main church auditorium. He was at the Prayer Mountain, which is also not far from the main church itself. And he was having his regular meetings with the Emmanuel TV partners. And at some point, he walked away, and I think that was when whatever happened. So from the information I have, he was very okay. He was agile. He did his meetings and prayer meetings with those he had to do. Until that point, he had to walk away. And from the information I had, that walking away was at about 6 p.m., 5 to 6 p.m., and the news of his death came out at around 10 p.m. So it's shocking, but we cannot say that he was ill or had any serious sickness of any sort. As far as I could tell, based on what I knew about him, he's a very healthy man and someone who ensured that he lived a healthy life as well.
In a statement you released online as you mourn him, you stated that he couldn't mention your name and that he will end up singing with it. Tell me about that.
Oh, okay. So a lot of people know me as Elsie Godwin, but my first name, Elsie is my second name. My first name is Isioma. And growing up, I was known as Ada, that's the first daughter from where I come from, or Isioma, my first name. And that's the name my church members know me as, And going to live with him and introducing myself, it was difficult for him to pronounce the name Isioma because, of course, he's a Yoruba man and from Igbo, from Abia State. And he would do the whole Isioma. And I'm like, no, it's not Isioma, it's Isioma. And then he starts singing with it and he goes like, Isioma, like, that's just one of the interesting parts of him, and I'm just thankful that I had that experience.
May you so rest in peace. But before you go, let me digress and find out from you how Nigerians are taking the ban on Twitter and whether the government has begun a crackdown on those violating it.
Okay, Nigerians are downloading VPN, like and some of them who are still very interested in Twitter are still very active on Twitter. However, the reports from the AGF saying that they will be arresting people who are using Twitter is quite funny at the moment, because so far there is no law in the Constitution of Nigeria backing that up. And it's just interesting. However, today they've also released a circular to the broadcasters, that's from NBC, instructing them not to pick any information from Twitter, do not cite Twitter, do not mention Twitter. So it's looking like it's a personal drama and fight with the platform called Twitter. So you can't even reference it, you cannot mention it, you cannot say anything. However, broadcasters will also have to play by the rule and watch what is going on.
All right, so
I also know, based on information, that conversation is ongoing. NCC, yeah.
All right, Elsie, thank you so much for your time that's here on Newsbeat. We are grateful. And so Elsie Godwin is a Nigerian and also a media personality and digital marketer. Up next, sports with Phil John Cote, who has more on it.
Coming back to tell you more about the Black Stars who are left for Rabat, Morocco, and also focus on the Ghana Premier League. The senior national team, the Black Stars, left this morning Accra to the Moroccan capital Rabat ahead of their international friendly against the North Africans tomorrow. The team led by CK Akon had the likes of Andre Dede Ayew, Isbara Jordan Ayew, and the captain of Accra Great Olympic Glass in Awako, among other players and technical staffs. However, English-based players Thomas Partey was not part of the team due to family issues. Also, Thomas Fosu was not part of the team because of disciplinary records. The match against the Atlas of Morocco is part of the two matches to be played and sanctioned by FIFA as a replacement for the World Cup qualifiers, which were cancelled by CAF due to COVID-19. The Stars will take on their Ivorian counterpart on the 12th of June at the Cape Coast Sports Stadium in the other international friendly. Let's focus on the Ghana Premier League and the aftermath of the Manchester Derby at Accra Sports Stadium. It ended 1-1. The coach of Hearts of Folk, Samuel Budu, believed that he would have won the match if there could be a goal line technology in Ghana football.
It's a good game. The Olympics, they did well. We got a lot of chances. We scored, and the linesman disallowed. As the commences goes, I think the ball crosses the line. It's a clear goal, but the linesman disallowed. But I mean, I don't want to talk about the officiating.
Do you think that calls for some technology into our game?
Exactly, because if that goal should have been awarded, then we can even do much better than this.
I'm satisfied with it. My understanding and the reason is, has they are a top side. I have to admit it. And I have to come from behind, so I'm satisfied. When the ball hit the crossbar, it felt in, didn't fall
behind the line.
So it wasn't a goal. This is the team that I started with. Until now, you can see our performance. Till now, so go far.
Reaction for the Accra Sports Stadium and Hearts of Folk Group Accra Great Olympics in the Ghana Premier League will bring you other details in our subsequent bulletin. But for now, entertainment with Harriet.
Anyways, thank you, Johnny, for the sports. And up next is entertainment news. There's more after this. Ghanaian Afrobeat, Afrofusion singer Jacqueline Champon, known professionally as Jackie, has revealed that there are requests for her to sample some of her dad's old songs. Forever hitmaker and daughter of Ghanaian highlife musician legend Nanae Champon, Jackie has stated that a lot of people have requested that she sample some of her dad's old songs. In an interview, Jackie said she's personally looking forward to recording a song with Nanae Champon, her father. A lot of people have sent me requests to do a sample of my father Nanae Champon's songs, she revealed. Aside from the numerous requests from people, personally, I also wish to see it happen by doing something like that very soon, Jackie added. That's it for entertainment news. Up next is international news with Bright.
All right, Harriet. So coming up next is stories on the international front. The leader of the Nigerian militant group Boko Haram, Abubakar Shekau, has killed himself, rival Islamist militants said in an audio recording. In audio obtained by news agencies, the Islamic State West Africa province said Shekau died detonating explosives on himself after a battle between the two groups. And that's it for the news here on Metro TV. I am Bryce Nanakwesi Amene. Coming up next at 2 p.m. is Good Afternoon Ghana, and the news returns at 4 with this flash. Have a good afternoon.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
Very well. Yeah.
Chairman, thank you very much as I join you in congratulating our colleague. Now, just for purpose of our record, John and Tim Fojo, you spell your Fojo with an O after the J. The President's Office of 21st April 2021 spells the Fojo with J, not with U after the J. You want to give us a correct one?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. That observation is correct.
Whose is correct, yours or the presidency?
The spelling on my CV is what is correct. It's just an interchange of the O and the U, and so I would crave the indulgence of the committee to accept what is on my CV.
All right, that's appreciated. Still on your CV, Doctor of Philosophy in Political Science. Are you done?
I'm on my thesis.
How long have you been on this?
This is my 5th year.
So it's not like you'll be a minister, deputy minister. Is that the case?
Honorable Chair, I'm just about concluding my thesis, and so it is expected that all other things being equal, that within the shortest possible time, I should be able to.
I know sometimes it takes long, but 6 years on, we still find that in your CV. Now, that leads me to the next page of your CV, Chair. Member of Parliament, January 20, just watch to the right, January 2017 to date, July 2011 to date. Now, the January, were you a member of the Appointments Committee as at 5th January 2021? Thank you, Chair. On to where you have leadership experience.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My membership of the 8th Parliament ties in with a tenure constitutionally mandated.
All right, thank you. Is it our Professor Kwame Boafo-Attah of Chairman's or Commonwealth Hall? Is that the Professor Boafo? Is he at the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission?
That's correct.
You cite him for purposes of your reference. The government praises and hails itself free senior high school. Investment in human capital and investment in literacy and numeracy. Where is Ghana on that? What's your appreciation of the progress or challenges we have made as a country in pursuit of that noble objective? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The government over the past 5 years has made very significant investment into education and recognizes that when the population is highly educated and possesses the requisite skill, it will be on a path to economic transformation, and therefore the requisite investment ought to be put into education. We have seen that policy progressing. I am always very enthused when investment into free SHS is mentioned, because I recall some decades back my plight in the village Asinkrua, at the time no electricity, no telecommunication access, completing and struggling through SHS. I wasn't the only brilliant student from my village, but I was the only person who could make it through to SHS. And today, many of my colleagues may not be on this seat to meaningfully and significantly contribute to nation building. Today, the narrative is not so because many students from all over the country would have access to second cycle education.
You share the view that quality have been compromised for quantity?
Honorable Chair, I do not agree to that assertion.
Why?
Considering all the reports available, the annual performance report of the education sector, also the WAEC reports that we have seen, and comparative studies that are available indicate that education outcomes are improving. For the past 5 years, steadily are improving. Quality is not compromised. Recently, when the 2020 WAEC report was announced, out of 465 students in West Africa who scored A1 in all 8 subjects, 88% of them, 411 to be precise, were Ghana Free SHS graduates. For the first time, over 50% of our students from Ghana who sat the WASSCE passed all core subjects. And all the figures are there for the various years to compare, and it's a very huge gain for the country. It is a narrative that the country must be so proud of, and for which I do not think that quality has been compromised.
All right, thank you very much. Back to your CV again. I believe page 2, Member of Parliament, January 7th, 2017 to January 7th, 2021. Is it January 7th? Just for guidance.
7th.
And you have chosen, yes, to January 7th, 2021. You said so in your
It's January 6th, please.
Okay, so indulge Chairman and then do what is appropriate.
Very much so.
You have chosen to define key responsibilities of Parliament. You see, you are under oath, so you have given this CV under oath. Representation of constituents in Parliament and lawmaking. Is that all you do as MP in your CV? Is that all you do as Member of Parliament? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. For the purposes of brevity, I kept it so.
Technical and vocational education, in my view, enhances employability. You would be assisting the Minister for Education in reaching out to the training of our young people. What is your take on elevating technical and vocational education? Thank you, Chair.
Technical and vocational education form very critical part in the economic transformation of every nation. It is upon this backdrop that His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has strategically envisioned that by the end of 2030, even the science to humanity ratio will have to be improved and transformed from the current 35 to 65 to 60 science, technology, engineering, and then 40 humanities. And so we have on record many investments that have been put into TVET transformation. The recent bill that was passed, the Pre-Tertiary Education Act, also goes to give credence to the priority being set to transform that sector.
Thank you, Chairman. Name any free senior high school in your constituency and share with us what their challenges have been.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. The free SHS, the high schools in my constituency are St. Manso Secondary School, where I attended, Yankumasi Ahinkro Secondary School, Adankwama Secondary School, and Insuta Secondary School are all running very well. As and when a challenge comes to my attention, we'll promptly respond.
You are not aware of any challenges? They have not brought anything to your knowledge, to the best of your knowledge? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I'm in constant engagement with all the stakeholders running these secondary schools in my constituency, and as and when any such challenge comes to my attention, I would promptly respond.
Do they have challenges?
None that has come to my attention.
Thank you. As the free core subjects textbooks are given, are you aware what the status of elective subjects textbooks are?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. At the same time when the 4 core subjects textbooks were supplied, elective textbooks were also supplied. Core subjects were given to students. Core subjects were given to students, and elective textbooks kept in the library for reference.
So do students enjoy free elective textbooks?
Precisely so, Honorable Chair.
Elective textbooks are given for free to students of the free senior high school program.
That is so, and as I indicated, the core subjects are given to the student for their keeps for the period that they are in that particular level, whereas the electives are kept in the libraries for their reference.
Why are the electives not given to the students, and what will you do about it if you get approved to the ministry? Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I shall interrogate why that is so, and at the appropriate time when approved, give a response. Thank you.
Yes. Yes, Honorable Susu.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Reverend Fojo, congratulations once more.
Thank you.
My very, very first question has to do with abandoned school projects and what your take will be on that and what you will do to assist your minister to complete those school projects. When you come to my constituency, for example, post-COVID arrangements are such that the total numbers in the classrooms are supposed to be managed and controlled. But we have a number of school projects which are halfway through but have not been completed. Some have been there for more than 10 years. And yet we are struggling for space for these children to study in a very good atmosphere. What would you do to remedy this situation?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Government, you agree, is a continuum, and so it is important that every project that is begun by one government is continued. It is for this reason that President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo has time and time again emphasized his commitment to complete every project started in any regime that is still at various stages of completion, in addition to new projects that he's undertaking and investing into. There's a comprehensive report here from FPMU detailing the statuses of every project and the status. At the appropriate time, we may have the time to share the details. But the commitment I'm giving you is that all my briefing indicates that all the projects that were started at various stages of completion are being pursued and investment put into it. As a matter of fact, some are completed. Just singling out E-blocks, for instance, 129 at the time of 2016 were completed. This president has pursued and continued, and indeed, as we speak, 39 of them have been completed, the rest at various stages of completion.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Again, what is the policy direction of your government to end the menace of schools under tree? I am asking this question on the background of a news item published by Ghana Web on the 1st of June 2020, where Ofosu Bator MA Basic School pupils study under trees. I know that this is not limited to Ofosu Bator MA Basic School. We understand that with all the gains government would be making with free SHS, we would need the foundation to be strong in order to build on that foundation with a free SHS. What is government direction as far as removing schools under trees at the basic level concerned?
Thank you. Policy directions are certainly not within the domain of a deputy minister, but from my briefing obtained and my interactions with the Honorable Minister, what I have gathered is his commitment to ensure that schools under trees receive interventions and they are eliminated. I'm aware of a VACO Trust intervention to commit to eliminating schools under trees. I'm aware of BACDIA funding that is also committed to that. But even beyond that, my minister is always interrogating, the Honorable Dr. Yaoseh Duchum is interrogating how we came to this point where why should there be schools under trees. A lot of studies have gone in, some review that there are some needs in certain communities, but because the planning of the educational needs are not coordinated and integrated, as community and stakeholders, well-intentioned, may begin a school and teachers may be sent there and then infrastructure will have to follow. So now he's going to take a pragmatic approach whereby the educational infrastructure planning will be done, and so schools will have to be built where the need is established and the school, the building commissioned and operationalized even before the school starting. So whilst funding is targeting it, this direction would also help solve it going forward.
Now, my very last question borders on the free SHS. Recently, when we were on recess and we were touring I was touring my constituency. I came by young men who were in this Jama group doing a Jama and by themselves. Free education, no classroom. Free education, no classroom. Oh, in Medina. Oh, this happened at Damfa in Medina. No. So, well, that's just by the way. Now, my question is that on hindsight, because deputy minister is a policy-making position. Oh yes, definitely, you are part of policy-making. Before a policy is introduced, there are three key things that we should be looking for: funding, personnel, infrastructure. Do you think that, on hindsight, this policy could have been implemented differently as it's been implemented now?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I must state the commitment of this government the past few years in investing heavily into infrastructure expansion at the SHS level. Per the reports available to me indicates that out of 1,135 projects that were initiated between 2017 and 2020, 584 of them have been completed and being used at the various SHS level. That is significantly expanding access. Now, the issue of access is very crucial. Between 2014 and 2016, the enrollment at the SHS level was about 800,000 people. Now, the narrative for the same period, 2017-2020, is 1.2 million, meaning 400,000 people without the implementation of free SHS would have truncated the education at the JHS level, just as I used my experience as an example at the outset of my submission. Many of these 400,000 people, if you consider the reports from 2013, 2014, 2015, there were averagely 100,000 children who were not able to transition from JHS to SHS. The problem was access. There were a lot of barriers. This policy is justified. It is a very important intervention, a game changer. It is not to any particular political party's credit. It is a real need that had been solved for the country, for which I believe that all stakeholders and all political parties will continue on that consensus for its sustenance.
Yes, Honorable Yabama.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Congratulations, Reverend.
Thank you.
I'll take you to the Constitution under, I think, Chapter 6, on the Directive Principles of State Policy, and shoot straight to the educational objectives, cultural and religious objectives of the country. Recently, we've had issues with some schools and some religious issues, some with regards to the wearing of hijab, some with wearing of Rasta hairdo or whatever, Rastafarian issues, boards of schools, and a whole lot of challenges that I think has to be resolved well for us to continue to enjoy the cohesion within society and amongst religious bodies and the institutions. What is your take on this?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Just as the respected Member of Parliament and member of this committee has made allusion to the Article 35 states the directive principle of state policy, specifically relating to that, Article 35(5) enjoins the country to be integrated and promotes non-discrimination on the basis of creed, faith, and any such biases or backgrounds. The Constitution enjoins us to live together. My faith in the book of Psalm 133 states that how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together in unity. And so in philosophically and jurisprudence, my understanding of the Constitution is not so much of Ghana as a secular state, but as a plural one, where multiplicity